Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Morning.
So I figured I would just kind of start out with where I started. Crazy industry in the culinary world was actually at Happy Chef after I graduated high school when I was 18. I didn't work when I was in high school. It was kind of in our house. It was either you worked or you went to school, and I went to school, and then when I graduated, I decided that college wasn't really what I wanted to do right now, so I just started working. And I started working at the bottom. Started as a dishwasher at $5.25 an hour or $5.15 an hour, whatever it was, 100 years ago. And then after that, I kind of just I worked a lot of different jobs. I worked at Toad's downtown for 5 or 6 years. I ran the kitchen at the pump house for a couple of years. I worked at Texas Roadhouse for a couple of months. I ended up getting really sick with H1N1 and ended up not staying there. So that was pretty much my 20s. I graduated high school in 2000. And then I moved to Humboldt, Iowa with my girlfriend. We were going to run a restaurant down there, and we had worked there for a while, and things just didn't pan out, and we just kind of got different jobs. I went to another restaurant there called Miller's Landing, and I cooked and bartended and did a bunch of other stuff there. And then at the time, I was kind of starting to get bored, so I decided I'd always wanted to be a chef, and so I figured I'd go to culinary school, and I did. I went to Iowa Central, and I was very lucky when I went to Iowa Central. They had just put in a brand new culinary facility, like $4 million facility that they put in. It was a great learning area. They brought in their head chef was from Britain. He's a great head chef, very Gordon Ramsay-esque, kind of looked like him too. And then he got a sous chef from South Africa, so he had a lot of international experience as well. So I've always been very creative with my food, and I kind of have taken that along down my journey as I learn new things and new techniques. And one thing about the culinary world is that you're always learning all the time. There's not a time when you're not learning something. There's always new trends, always new things that are coming out all the time. And whether you read up on it, or what's going on in the culinary world, especially during this pandemic, and you pick up new things, new recipes every day. After culinary school, I actually was recruited by Hy-Vee. I was at a job fair in Fort Dodge, and I just gotten out of class, and I went over to visit my wife, and this lady came running up to me, and she's like, oh my God, are you a chef? I said, well, I'm learning to be one, but yeah, I know how to cook. She's like, oh my God, I need to talk to you. And she's kind of a crazy lady, but so we spoke for a little bit. We met in like a top conference room in the Fort Dodge Hy-Vee for a little while, and she kind of explained to me what they were doing with the market grills that they were starting. And I really liked the idea. I thought it was really cool with having a nice restaurant inside the grocery store, which and so after I graduated college, I started a job at the Mill Civic location on just off 35 in West Des Moines, and I opened that restaurant. So the whole idea was very new, and so we were still learning as we were going along. And so I worked for Hy-Vee for about 5 years. I transferred to the Urbandale location, and was the general manager there for a couple of years. Unfortunately, with what happened with Hy-Vee is they couldn't grasp the concept of what they wanted to be with the market grills. It was, instead of picking one concept and kind of sticking to it and showing your identity and what you wanted to be and how you're going to present yourself. They just kind of did everything all at once and decided to throw it all at the wall and see what stuck. And unfortunately, nothing really stuck. So I was there for 5 years, and Market Grills have some have turned into Wahlburgers Expresses since they joined the Wahlburgers franchise. There's a big one here in West Des Moines, and then they're going to build 26 individual restaurants across their 8-state location, which is the biggest franchise that Wahlburgers will actually have. It's kind of a big deal for Hy-Vee, and they're very into it. About a month before I left Hy-Vee, my father-in-law had a FedEx ground business. He had about 15 routes in Minnesota and Wisconsin, in the Wisconsin area, which he was trying to sell. And he wanted to do something, but he didn't really know what he wanted to invest his money in when he got done. And he asked me, he's like, how would you like to be a part owner in a restaurant and run the restaurant? He's like, it's all you. You know, I'm just helping out with the financial end of it, and then to begin with, and then it's all you. And I said, well, yeah, I'm down. I was like, where do I sign up? Not knowing that we were going to buy a restaurant and take ownership March 2nd and then be shut down 2 weeks later because of this pandemic. But the gift of foresight would have been nice then, wouldn't it? Anyway, so we operated as the business that it was before, which is called Haus Fine Foods. The menu was kind of all over the place. They did a lot of open a bag, throw it in the fryer, and that really wasn't my style of cooking. So I just, once the pandemic hit, we started with carry out. Well, we took a couple of weeks off and we remodeled pretty much the entire building. We ripped out the tables. They're all brand new tables that actually a buddy of mine that I met when I was working at Hy-Vee built them all for me, and he stained them and sanded them. They're gorgeous tables, and they're all over the restaurant. We ripped out the carpet on the main floor, and we laid a floating floor, which is much easier to clean and looks a lot better than the old 20-year-old carpet that was there. Changed the lighting, changed a bit of what the bar looks like. We remodeled the kitchen, and I'll get up and kind of walk around and kind of show you here in a little bit.
You didn't have Restaurant Impossible come in and help you?
No, we did not. I have actually met him. He is an enormous gentleman. He is a huge man.
Yeah.
I went to the NRA food show when I was in culinary school, which is it's a huge week-long ordeal, and there's lots of guest chefs and celebrities that are there, and they're always sponsored by some company. And Robert Irvine was there. He actually signed a book for me that's on my bookshelf in the restaurant. And but he made me look small.
Oh. NRA, that means National Restaurants Association, right?
Yes, it means National Restaurant Association, not the other one.
No, the NRA.
So when we were told that we were going to be able to go, so we did a lot of carry out, and people were very excited about carry out. I did a lot of specials, and also ended up getting rid of a lot of the inventory that was here before. And then we kind of focused on how are we going to make this go? Well, when I worked for Hy-Vee, Hy-Vee is big into social media, big. You see stuff posts from Hy-Vee all the time. So kind of took that, and I am on social media like crazy. Instagram, Facebook, I'm posting videos all the time, pictures of my food. And we've got about 1,900 people that like our Facebook page, and almost 2,000 that follow us. So it's not a huge group of people, but it's enough people that keeps people interacting with the Facebook page and asking questions and commenting on photos or videos. And I try to be kind of comical when I do my videos. I think Lee's actually got one queued up that he was going to show us.
How we doing, folks? It is Monday night at Z's Eatery and Draft House, which means it's burger night. And there's a football game on, but we're not going to worry about that right now. So we got a new burger today, and we're calling this the Great Western Burger. So it's a burger, melted cheddar cheese, sprinkled with that fairy dust of house smoked pulled pork, and then some crispy onion strings and a little barbecue sauce on top of that. Now we're going to pan this over to Cowboy over here, and we're going to show you how the West was won.
Bye.
Yeah.
I'm going to condense that. I'll give you
Not
5
for me.
So I said in that video, I said that I'd give that kid $5 if he stuck that whole thing in his mouth. Turns out I was a cheapskate and I only had $3 in my pocket, so I gave him $3.
Oh.
And he got a free sandwich.
Let's see. Oh, we talked about how we navigated COVID, and basically we did carry out, and it was we didn't have any staff. We sent pretty much all the staff home, and so when we did carry out, it was just me and my mother-in-law Renee would run the phones and the POS machines, and the tickets would come back, and I'd print them and put them on, cook them and print them up, put them all in boxes and send them out. We ended up starting to get pretty busy for carry out, so I was able to call one of my cooks in, and he was able to help me out, and he learned about a bunch of new things as well. When we were told we were able to go 50% on, was that May 1st? Which is a little quicker than we actually wanted to kind of unveil ourselves and reopen as Z's. But we got it done. And we opened as Z's on May 1st at 50%, and people were ecstatic. We were packed to the gills. I mean, we're talking every single table was full every night. Weekends, we definitely have a wait. Both Friday and Saturday, we weren't taking reservations, so it was very much first come, first serve, and if you're waiting, you're waiting. And at that time, we weren't serving drinks if you weren't eating. So people did a lot of waiting, and they were fine with that. I don't know if you've ever seen our menu. It's located at zsindianola.com. You can see the menu that's on there. We're just using a paper menu at the time, so it's a single use, and we throw it away when it's done. All of our servers wear masks out in the front of the house, so we try to keep everyone as safe as possible. A lot of people think that owning a restaurant or working in a restaurant is kind of glitz and glamour and you're going to make $1 zillion. That's not true. It's very hard. It's very hard work. It's long hours. It's you dedicate a lot of your time to the place, especially to start out with. I was working 80 plus hours a week until I decided to. Well, it was more not decided. We started when we came back 50%, brought everybody back. And then I realized I could really kind of trust my team. I'm down to probably 55 hours. So it's not super horrible. But the margins in a restaurant are very small. So you need to figure out how you're going to make every single dollar you spend work for you. And that is the entire key. You need to know where every single dollar is all the time. You need to take advantage of deals that your vendors send you. The biggest cost in your restaurant is your labor and your rent. Unless, of course, you own the building, which we don't yet. We're going to hopefully do that next year and then build a big patio on the side so we could do live music and expand our base. But we would love to pay everybody full-time hours and all that jazz, but a lot of times that doesn't work. There's not a lot of full-time employees in restaurants because 40 hours is expensive no matter what you're paying. And it also depends on sales. I mean, sales cures all, but you just have to find ways of growing those sales. You have to know how to do a food cost and know how to do your labor costs, and there's a new cost out right now. It's called prime cost. It's your labor cost and your food cost, and you put them together, and that's your total expense, your expenses for food and labor together, and that's a total percentage of your what's coming out of your sales, and then everything else after that is what you're gonna pay the rest of your bills with. I always say I buy the absolute best products that I can afford. And then I have a plan of what I'm going to do with those, whether it's a new product that came in, or I want to do a different seafood special on Thursdays. And the only seafood I have on my menu is shrimp and salmon, but I want to do something different. You just go through your vendors and figure out what's there, what is somebody going to be interested in, and sometimes those specials do really well, and they're actually one of them's going to end up on my new menu, which is going to come out, I'm hoping, November 1st, when we'll open up 7 days a week. So we're closed on Sundays right now, so basically I can have a day off. But we're going to open on Sundays, hopefully November 1st. The whole idea of where can you save money without sacrificing service and quality of food or service, and that's the entire key. What are those little nooks and crannies that you can hit to save $1, or you know what I mean?
Hey Wes, what's the biggest or change that you've seen in the food industry in the last, since you've been started? Like, are you seeing more people wanting healthier food choices, or is things going more towards, just what different changes have you seen in the restaurant industry?
People like healthy, but people like to know what they like to know that their food's being made, by hand from scratch. I think that's one of the things that we do is we are from scratch kitchen. We went from, they pouring things into a fryer to 99% of everything that I have on the menu is from scratch. We make it from scratch. And I think a lot of people like to know that you're using a good product. I think that's kind of the trend right now. Chefs have kind of turned into the rock stars and celebrities of the world. And people are interested in what chefs are doing all over the country. It's kind of hard to right now with COVID. People are kind of relegated to smaller menus, and there's so many restaurants that are failing because of it. Whether they close, because they still got rent to pay, which is unfortunate. But food trend wise, it's still, they just want just good food in general. There's always those, there's healthy niches, there's vegan, there's little pop-ups everywhere. Not so much in Indianola, but there they are in larger cities. Des Moines got quite a few. Dirt Burger is pretty popular.
Is all of your clientele from Indianola?
Not all. We get quite a few from Des Moines. My whole goal was that I didn't want to have people from Indianola driving all the way to Des Moines to get a really good steak, when they can just go right up the street here to Z's and get a certified Angus beef, grown, raised in Iowa, ribeye.
So you do try to support the local?
I try to as I can, or I try to stay. All my meat comes from Iowa. So I buy certified Angus beef, which is a brand, and they're actually done in Tama. A lot of my beer that I have on tap is local. Iowa is I've is one of the best craft beer states in the country, I think.
True.
I've been to Colorado. We go to Chicago. I mean, me and my wife are huge Cub fans, so we go to Chicago all the time, and we hit breweries in Chicago, and we go down to Kansas City, and we were down at Boulevard there. We went to Colorado and hit a bunch of breweries over there. But Iowa, I've had some of the best beer that I've had is Iowa beer. Whether it's Toppling Goliath, which is in Decorah, they're all over the place, and people go crazy for their stuff. Or Barntown down here in Des Moines. Not only is it a great restaurant, they make the best IPAs that I can find, and I'm an IPA drinker. But that's what I like to support on my draft line. I've got 12 beers on tap, and I think 10 of them are from Iowa.
Wes, we have about 5 minutes left. Can you take us on a tour?
Oh yeah, sure.
One quick question on
Yeah.
your food inventory. Having never worked a restaurant, but how do you figure out how much to buy of what when you have a certain menu? Like, wow, we really bought too much chicken this time because people didn't buy it, or how do you get a history of what you sold so you get an idea of kind of how much to keep on when you have, you got steak, you got chicken, you got pork, how much to buy of each thing, how do you manage that kind of an inventory, trying to figure out how much to have on hand?
So I have something called an Aloha system, and what it does is it tracks everything that I sell. And every day or every week, I can pull that products mix report, and it'll tell me what I've sold of every single item every week. So basically, I've made myself a par, and I know that how much we know, and all my cooks know how much they need to have prepped on a daily basis.
Okay.
But I will walk around and kind of give you the tour. We're just on my laptop here, so I just had to flip the screen around. Let me know if you guys can see everything. All right.
Ceiling.
Huh?
We're looking at the ceiling.
Oh, are you?
Yep. There we go. That's better.
All right. So these are the gorgeous tables that my buddy built for me, and we have those all over the restaurant. This is the top level here.
Now you only seat every other booth, right?
Yep. You see like that X on that table there? Can you see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So we have those on every other booth so that we maintain our social distancing. And then as we go down here, this is the new floor that we set, and it goes all the way down back to the bathrooms and then that big banquet room in the back. We measured our tables, and they're 6 feet apart. This one actually got pushed forward, so we got to change that one. But we've only got 4 chairs at the bar. Normally we can hold 12 to 14 chairs at the bar. So one of the reasons I like this restaurant so much is all this reclaimed barn wood. It's all over the restaurant. That's all from a barn in South Warren County. And then we've got a big party room back here that we can do large groups. We're not really doing large groups right now. But so we just added some more overflow space. So that we could have some more seating. Everybody see okay? I'm not getting everybody the whirlies.
We see it. It's looking good.
Does the state ever do like drop-in visits for checking for COVID compliancy?
No, we never have.
They don't do that. Okay.
No, they say they're going to, but they haven't. they've called before and kind of asked what we were doing, and we explained to them. They're like, okay.
There's a couple places here in Cedar Falls got hit for violations.
Yeah, there's some places are following it, some places aren't. My wife and I like to we go out to eat quite a bit, and we like to cook all day, so I don't want to cook at home. So we go out to eat when I am home for supper, and some places follow, some places don't. This is just a server area here. Wait station. We'll kind of move into the kitchen here. This is the dish room, prep area over there, just some more prep space. And then as we kind of walk around, we'll see ourselves around here. So all this equipment that's in here, it's all brand new. From the chef's base at the bottom there, that's 96 inches of product, of refrigerated space in there. And then a 4-foot char broiler, a 4-foot flat top, a 6-top burner over there. That's my buddy Steve. He's over there cleaning the fryers and getting started. Just kind of a small area, but we pump out a lot of food.
And you have a big walk-in refrigerator?
Yep. Got walk-in refrigerator. We actually just kind of we replaced the cooler in here not that long ago, or this week. Let me tell you, the most expensive thing in a restaurant is buying the equipment. Oh my goodness gracious. Yep. Just a cooler with all your goods, and then we go on this side, beer and stuff over here, and wine. And not a huge cooler. Some places have much bigger ones, but that's my little restaurant.
Looks good.
Yep.
Any,
If you're ever in Indianola, make sure you stop in.
Will do.
and anybody have any questions or anything?
Did you plan on doing catering?
Not at this time right now. We might in the future when COVID goes away.
Yeah.
My father-in-law also bought a restaurant in Clive called Steamboat Boys, and they're a barbecue restaurant, and they're doing a big catering business as well, along with their restaurant.
Now, Wesley, do you operate like on a third margin, gross margin?
I'm not actually sure what that means.
66% cost and gross the 33%.
Prime cost with prime cost is about, I try to stay under 60%. Like I said, the restaurants only most successful restaurants probably only take about 10% is actually take home of what you made for the year. That's why they're so, it's a hard business. I mean, but if you're good at it and you can really manipulate the numbers, you can do well. But it's I try to keep my food costs under 30%. I try to keep my labor in between the 20s, low 20s to, I've had weeks where I'm in the low 30s. But
How do you recruit and manage your employees, servers particularly?
well, we kept everybody that worked here before, for the most part, and then I just put stuff out for advertising that when we're hiring, or word of mouth. And then I also do a lot of front of house work. I do like a little team building every day. Whether it's just like a little meeting, what's going on today, what's the special today. I have a special usually every day.
Mm-hmm.
I do more comfort cooking for lunch. Like today, we do meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and a vegetable for $10. Yesterday, on Tuesdays for lunch, I do a different taco. and last week I did or yesterday I did a smoked chicken taco with a spicy salsa. I've done brisket tacos, pulled pork, carnitas, carne asada.
Did you use any of the government COVID protection, payroll protection plan?
Yes.
To keep your
Yes, we were able to, when we brought our employees back, we were able to secure a PPP loan, which was a miracle. We probably wouldn't have made it without it. It really, and it kept everybody employed. So we were pretty thankful for that.
Wow.
That's great. Well, thanks a lot, Wes. We really appreciate.
Hope to visit your restaurant. Plan to be
I
in Des
hope you
Moines
do.
sometime this fall. Yeah.
And
Please say hello.
I put the link to his menu and to his Facebook page. If you want to go.
Yes, like my Facebook page. Then you get to see my bearded face on the daily.
One last
just what
question, Wes. When you have specials, do you cook them up ahead of time before your meeting so everybody can taste it, so they can be truthful as to whether they like them or not?
Yes, sir. I do that every day.
That's great. That's great. Okay, well, let's give him a big hand, everyone. Yay!
Thanks. Oh, that's me. I don't need to give myself a hand.
Thanks so much, Wes. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Wes.